What is going on, guys? We're seeing it back at brand new video, and today we are going to be previewing the 2015 F1 live season Xbox season, which starts tonight, Thursday at 8:15, with the lobby opening at 8:05. We're just starting slightly later just so we can make sure everybody can get in the lobby. And in today's video we're going to be previewing each team, looking at how we think they're going to be doing over the season, and kind of doing some predictions at the end, and just running through a few things, and just giving you guys the opportunity, if you have any questions about the league, if you want to join the league, just let me know down in the comment section below. So then we'll start off with the reigning 2014 World Champions, and that is Mercedes-AMG Petronas. Their team principal is Dan Richards, and for this season they've retained Apollo 18, but we've got a new driver coming in, and that is Goddess268. If you didn't know, that's Beaver and Chipmunk, or specifically of course Chipmunk from the Beaver and Chipmunk channel. I'm sure you guys know who he is. Very good F1 YouTuber, and a very fast racer on F1 2014. I think this could be a really close lineup between Apollo and Goddess. It really could just kind of come down to attendance and connection problems probably. So hopefully it should be a really equal season between these two. Possibly two of the dark horses for the championship, to be honest. I mean, Apollo, did really well towards the end of the season last season. I think he picked up a win just right in the last race, was picking up a lot of podiums, is very fast on his day. I think he just needs to kind of improve a bit on his consistency, because some races we saw him right at the front, but obviously he was kind of at the back. If he can iron that out, then there's no reason why he couldn't be one of the front runners for 2015 again. And Goddess, as I mentioned, he won one of the test races in Bahrain. He's made his intentions clear. He's definitely one of the championship contenders. Should be a really strong year for Mercedes, and they've got a reserve Mike Marshmallow in case any of the two race drivers can't race. So yeah, a really great lineup. Even the reserve Mike Marshmallow, race run in 2014, possibly would have been in the top seats, but just because he can't attend every race, he's chosen to be a reserve. Move on to the next team then, and that is Williams, with the team principal of the F1 show, or Casey Legend as you may know him from Twitter. Of course, one of the drivers last year and one of the team principals last year. He's decided to retain his role as the Williams team principal, but he's chosen two new drivers, and that is Smiley Faced Hobo and Gastron Zinker 97. Again, two very fast drivers, and should be a really close battle between these two. Much like Apollo with Gastron Zinker, he's very good at some tracks, but not the best at other tracks. But and again, if he can just improve with consistency, he should be really far up there. Again with Smiley Faced Hobo, really strong at some tracks. On his day, he's very fast. Of course, close friends with the 2014 champion Pro Racing. Those two, I think, will be pushing each other all the way. Both of them, again, there's so many title contenders this year. I think it should be a really strong field, because we've got so many reserves. The team principals have just kind of chosen the best drivers, and if the drivers aren't performing, then of course they're going to be looking at the reserves to possibly promote them into a race seat. And the drivers will have to watch out in case they get dropped to a reserve seat. All they can do basically is just do the best performances they can, and hopefully they'll get the chance to. Pretty sure, and just on a side note, we're going to get the connection problem sorted. I know it's been a problem during test races, but nothing much I can really do, to be honest. I've been trying to get kind of different hosts, but at the end of the day, what Luke Springer said, it's down to peer-to-peer connection. So if one person's really bad, they're kind of bringing the whole lobby down if kind of 2 or 3 people are. So I really hope it doesn't get to that point where we've got to kind of realise that it might be somebody in the lobby. I think it's probably just the way the game is at the moment. Hopefully it'll improve, and of course I can confirm we are going to be moving on to F1 2015 the game at some point during the season, but of course I can't say yet. And if we're moving on to Xbox One or anything, I'm pretty sure we are, but I can't really confirm anything like that, so don't really worry about it. Just focus on the season, and we'll get to it when Codemasters announce it, and indeed when the game comes out. We'll just make sure, of course, the game is actually half decent and actually playable before we kind of switch. But yeah, very strong lineup for Williams. They'll be hoping to improve on their second place, go 1 place better, and win the championship. Third place last year was Scuderia Ferrari, with the team principal of Rightbox HD, and he's gone with the race drivers of Pro Racing 69 and Super Joshi 9. That's the league runner, Super Joshi 9, and the 2014 World Champion Pro Racing. So of course, having the World Champion on your team makes it immediately a really strong lineup. Just like last year, it looks like Super Joshi 9 will be playing the kind of driver number 2 role. Of course, Insignia was there last season. front runner, and now we've got another front runner in at Ferrari, and it is Pro Racing 69. He should be very, very fast, and you know, again, probably is going to be the favourite for the championship, but of course, you know, we'll just have to see. It should be very close, but I think the early kind of, you know, what I've, you know, spoken to people about, it seems like he seems to be the person to beat. And also they got the reserve of Mr. Danger J's F1. So, you know, watch out for him. Definitely, if, you know, one of the two races can't attend, he could come straight in and, you know, even possibly get a podium. Very fast racer and very experienced, so watch out for him if Reese or Josh can't attend. Let's move on to the 4th place team from 2014, and that is Sahara Force India, with a new team principal of F1 Maestro 26, and he's wiped and cleared out the decks and chosen 2 new drivers by the name of Luna X Eclipse and JanMac4569, of course the YouTuber. Go and check his channel out, very great YouTuber and a fairly fast racer. Like I've said before, with you know, lots of other drivers, he's kind of really strong at certain tracks, like kind of Silverstone. I know he's certainly very strong at some of the kind of street tracks, just kind of random tracks he's really good at, and some he's not so good at. So it should be probably an up and down kind of season for the 2 Force India drivers. We could see kind of, you know, differing results of differing races, but I can always count on one of them is probably going to be challenging for podium, if not wins. Both of them are, you know, potential race winners for sure. And with a reserve of MT Mad Muslim, you know, a very fast racer, it should be a really strong and kind of consistent Force India team. I'm interested to see who's going to come out in the teammate battle. Leaning towards Luna Eclipse, probably, you know, very fast racer, you know, performed very well in the test races that he did. Of course, was leading the Monaco test race before crashing out, so him and Dan Mack, you know, do make a couple of mistakes, you know, just like everyone else. So, should be really interesting if Force India. Who's going to come out in that teammate battle? I'm very excited to see. Of course, we won't know until the season closes. On to the next team then, the team that finished 5th in the 2014 World Championship, and that was McLaren Honda. Of course, now with the Honda engines, of course, they'll start the season with Mercedes before halfway switching to the Honda power. But they've got a team principal of Josh Lem 11, who's moved from Toro Rosso to McLaren for the year, and he's gone with Mr. Jokers and Mr. Alpaca with a reserve of Erd, I believe how that's, or is it Erdwy? I don't know how you pronounce that name, but yeah, and also Undescribed 66, who's going to be coming in when we go to Xbox One, or indeed if we go to Xbox One. I'm pretty sure we are. I'm basically 90% sure we're going to Xbox One at some point during the season. He's going to be coming in to take a race seat because his 360 broke, so sadly he can't compete. Of course, quite, I believe, if I'm right in saying Undescribed has been here from the start. I'd hazard a guess. I think you know, one of the many people still in from that's, you know, been in the start. We've still got kind of that, you know, kind of nice core group with, you know, a nice load of new additions this season. You know, we kind of largely kind of kept the people we had last year, to be honest. I think we've lost about 3 people. I know we lost Luke, James, and maybe someone else. I'm not sure. But anyway, yeah, McLaren have chosen Mr. Jokers and Mr. Alpaca. Mr. Jokers definitely could be challenging for wins. His consistency isn't always the best. Sometimes that's not down to him, just down to his connection. And Mr. Alpaca as well. You know, sometimes kind of up there, sometimes kind of down there. So, you know, it should be an interesting year for McLaren. It should be, you know, kind of an up and down year, I think. Just like I said with Force India, you know, could be, you know, certain tracks are going to be stronger at, certain tracks are going to be weaker at, and of course, Erd is new to the league, Mr. Jokers as well. So yeah, Mr. Alpaca, of course, came in for the final few races, did some impressive races. So yeah, looking forward to see how he continues to build on his good form for 2014, and how Mr. Jokers will make an impact on his debut into F1 Live Season. Let's move on to Sauber then, the team that finished 8th in last year's championship. Oh, sorry, it's finished in 7th. Sorry, finished in 6th. It's finished in 6th. Sorry, yeah, and they've got a new team principal of Official Lobfil, I believe it's pronounced. One of the, if I'm right in saying, they're one of the F1 PC live season drivers, so it's great to have a few crossovers. It's always good to see. We've got Ayatona, who used to race in the Xbox League, going over to the PC League to be a reserve, and we've had team principals in the past, you know, of course Riotbox, of course, probably, and Marco FD, of course, who I'll come on to his Red Bull in a moment. So yeah, both of them very fast drivers in the PC live season league, great to see. And of course, you know, if any more team principal offers do open up from the PC League, then it'd be great to see some of the race drivers going over there. Or indeed, if some of the team principals, you know, have a PC and race, it'd be great to see them going over and joining, you know, GP2 Live Season, or indeed the F1 Live Season. On the note of the GB2, a lot of you guys have been asking for it. We might do one for Xbox One. We've got a lot of drivers now, and I'd only do it if I can, really feel we could get full attendance kind of every single race. I really, kind of feel most of the leagues just kind of have it for the sake of it, just so they can kind of, boost the numbers. Oh, we've got a GB2 league as well. But I feel if we did it just like, the PC league does it so well, and I'd get someone to run it like they does, because that's, turned out really well for them. I think they've run it fantastically, to be honest. Just as much focus on the GB2 as the F1, and that's exactly what I want if we were to do it on Xbox. And anyway, let's get back to the season preview. So yeah, official Lobfield then is the team principal. He's come with a completely new lineup. Oh, sorry, no, one new driver in Insignia GB and Dr. Z Richtofen, who I believe raced with Sauber last season. I can't be sure on that, but I'm pretty sure he did. Insignia then coming over from the sister team Ferrari. Of course, who supplies Sauber with the engines, so of course he knows that Ferrari engine very well. Impressed heavily at Ferrari last year, was unlucky not to challenge for the championship in the latter half of the year. He had a really strong first half of the year. He picked up 2 wins in kind of the first half of the year, got a lot of podiums, was leading the championship I believe for a bit, maybe just for a couple of odd races after winning in Monaco, and yeah, unlucky not to win then the championship Insignia was last year. He had a lot of kind of connection problems and kind of work problems, kind of getting too much work to do, and just kind of crashing out because of the the wheel is just so bad on the game. We have got quite a few wheel users, which is good to see a nice balance between the wheel and the pad users. And yeah, Dr. Z Richtofen, those two are probably the closest lineup in terms of friendship. Probably not in terms of pace, with all due respect to Dr. Z Richtofen. I think Insignia should come out in that top of that teammate battle. And of course, they've got Gary Albone, 1990, of course, one of the original members of F1LiveSeason, being the reserve, and he's done basically all the test races. He's done all the testing for Sauber, and we'll have to see if the race drivers are going to be attending the first race. Let's move on then to the team that finished 7th in last year's standings, and that was Infinity Red Bull Racing. So they've got team principal then of Marco FD, one of the main guys in the F1LiveSeason PC League, definitely one of the the main championship contenders, and he'll be hoping that his 2 drivers will also be in the running for the F1 2015 LiveSeason Xbox Championship. So he's got CBA Super Sick 58 and RBZ 10112. A very strong lineup. Red Bull going with an all Scottish lineup. Both of them, original F1LiveSeason members. CBA Super Sick 58. Of course, under the name of, I don't know, he had this really weird Kyle XI thing going on. He's got a much similar name, which is, really good. Definitely for me, kind of pronouncing it. He was there from the start, and left kind of, just due to F1 2013 being quite bad. Then, when we came back onto F1 2014, he rejoined for the remainder of the season. Though both of them will be really looking forward to the season ahead. And should be a really strong year for both Supersick and RBZ. Expect them to be really pushing, the kind of front runners. Again, 2 dark horses, to be honest, for the championship. If they can get a good run going, they could definitely be kind of pushing the likes of, Pro Racing, Insignia, Mr. Jokers, all the way, to be honest. And it should be a very close championship. And definitely these 2 could be, 2 key factors in that championship fight. Let's move on to Toro Rosso then, who actually joined the league later on as a kind of a team for the reserves, hence why they finished last and 9th in the league last season. But anyway, they've got everything new, to be honest. A new team principal in Luke Julian, of course, one of the front runners from the 2013 season as a driver. The 2014 season as a driver. I believe he finished 2nd in the championship, or certainly he won the mini championship as well on F1 2014. So it's a shame he won't be competing this year as a driver, but it's still great to see he's still got involvement in the league. Always really great to see. Just like Dan Richards, when he left, he became a team principal. F1 shows, stayed on as team principal. And their race drivers are Hamilton Fan 1705 and Shawnee R38. I believe that's how to pronounce it, so I do apologise if I pronounce those wrong. Of course, I got the Hamilton Fan bit right, but I'm not sure. I believe it's Shawnee, that's how you pronounce it. But yeah, very strong lineup then. 2 newcomers to the league, but they've already made an immediate impression on the league during the test races, both doing some really good running, setting some very good lap times and race pace. So yeah, should be really exciting season for Toro Rosso. I can practically guarantee it's going to be a better season than last year. They've also got a really talented reserve driver in It's Mowick, and one I probably are going to predict he's probably going to take over somebody's race drive up and down the grid, because I do think he's a big talent, the Dutchman. So we've got quite a few drivers from different nationalities. Of course, Shawnee, I believe, runs the BPRL league. I think that's how you pronounce it. And that's a very talented league as well, so he knows, all about league racing. Hamilton fan 1705, very talented and kind of very experienced league racer, raced in many leagues. New to F1 Live Season, but I'm sure both of them are going to adapt very well. Should be challenging for podiums, possibly the odd race win. Don't think they quite have it, for the kind of championship, but I think, they could definitely be up there fighting for, podiums and wins. Properly, evenly matched as well. Actually, all three drivers for Toro Rosso are, an evenly matched. So credit to Luke for choosing such a close lineup. So then, let's move on to the final bit then, and that's just talking about kind of a few things about the league, just to kind of round out the video. Hope you guys kind of enjoyed that season preview. You can let me know your season predictions down in the comment section below. I'm going to go for Pro Racing and Ferrari. Yes, I'm biased. Of course, I race for Ferrari, but I think I think Pro Racing will win the championship. It should be a really close fight. I think right up there will be kind of Mercedes, Williams, Red Bull. Every team, to be honest, could be up there. We just really never know with this game, and just kind of F1, it's just so unpredictable. But that's my prediction then, and let's just run a few kind of rules, kind of pointers, and just a few things kind of that I kind of found out during the test races, but we can just kind of hopefully correct. First one is, please don't ready up in the lobby until Super Joshi 9 has, of course, the league runner myself. Just really annoying, to be honest, when people are readying up and kind of the session's starting, and sometimes we've gone without people just because people can't wait a few minutes. That's not good. If we're not allowing people to race just because other people are readying up. So please don't do that until I've readied up. Maybe if a couple of you ready up, it's okay. But once the session starts, timer comes on, and please unready immediately, because we really don't want to go without people. We want to have the most people racing as possible and give people a fairer chance. We want ideally we wanted every race driver to turn up to every race to be able to to get the most points they possibly can. But of course, drivers are going to miss races, and that's perfectly fine. Just please, notify your team principal so they can tell the reserve to race. Because the reserve is, of course, eager to race, eager to be able to prove themselves, and really we should be able to get full lobby every race, no doubt. And please don't vote to win the session in qualifying as well. Another just really kind of small but annoying thing that just kind of ruin people's laps. Same kind of with retiring as well. Just try not to retire during qualifying by crashing out. Because it's okay to retire, kind of normally, but don't crash out. Don't make a big scene. Just quietly retire. And if you don't vote to end the session basically in qualifying. Driving market is open at all times, so if someone's not even in the league but you think they're really fast, could do really well in the league, you just need to notify me. I'll give them kind of a quick test run unless I already know them, and then you can just basically sign them up. You've got to, of course, drop one of your race drivers. Just please be kind of don't be chopping and changing each race. Just kind of talk to your race driver, possibly see what they have to offer to your team. Still, if you're thinking about dropping them, maybe just kind of give them a hint, say please just try and up your game a bit. Of course, the team principal involvement is all down to them. They don't have to participate at all. They could just not do anything for the whole season. It's really up to you, team principals. You can have a major involvement, tweeting about the race, and of course that's what we want you to do, and that's what we want you to kind of talk to your drivers all the time. But of course, some people don't want to, and that's perfectly fine. It's all up to you how much involvement you want in the league. Same with the drivers. You can record. It'd be fantastic if we could get as many people as recording. But I'm not going to force people to record, just for, kind of penalties. And we'll kind of come on to the penalties in Australia, to be honest. I already got a system in place, so, any incidents, just kind of report them to me, report them to the Twitter. And if you guys want to join, then, let me know in the comments. Any questions, let me know in the comments, or contact the Twitter at F1LSXbox. So that's pretty much it for the season preview. I'm really looking forward to the F1 2015 live season Xbox season, and of course the PC. Go and follow them as well on Twitter. But yeah, I was racing then. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know your thoughts on the season below. But yeah, see you guys next time, and goodbye.